Hey, it's Wes here, aka Seahawks Prime, and I'm really excited to announce that I have started a Patreon for the Seahawks Times. There are 3 tiers for you to join. There's a Hawk Timer, there's a Hawktimist, and there's Hawktimist Prime. If you love the Seahawks Times and you want to support the channel, this is going to give you access to the Discord in which we can talk football 24/7. Look, I love you guys for supporting. You do not have to join the Patreon, but the link is in the description. If you love this channel, let's go. Everybody, it's Wes here, aka Seahawks Prime. Welcome back to the Seahawks Times. This is your go-to NFL channel on YouTube, specifically if you're a Seattle fan. If you love the Seahawks like I do, you got to subscribe. But look, I got to let you know a lot of other teams fans are starting to join the channel because we're having really awesome conversations about football in general, and I'm really loving where this is going, and I thank each and every one of you. Let's cut right to it. This video is going to be very controversial. I promise you that. It's going to have a lot of controversy in the comments. I'm going to get hate. I'm going to get love, but that's okay. I want you to come on here and tell me what you think in the comments, and we're going to have an awesome discussion and keep it respectful as usual. What will the Seattle Seahawks win-loss record be in 2022-2023? Before I start, this is my interpretation of what I think is going to happen, and many are going to call me crazy, and that's okay, and it's probably justified. Anyways, let's get into it. The drama match, week 1, you got Denver coming into Seattle. What is going to happen in that game? I had a video on what I think will happen in that game when Russell comes back to town, but I'm going to tell you right now, I think Seattle wins this game. Denver fans, you can shoot at me in the comments. That's okay. I think Seattle puts it on the ground, and Denver cannot keep up with the ground game, and that there's just not enough weapons on Denver to match Seattle's underrated defense, pass rush, and secondary, even though it's young. Russell could easily come out and just go crazy, but I got Seattle with a W as Russell tries to get acquainted with that new offense. He doesn't have a lot of time with those guys yet. I know there's rapport with Sutton, but that's Seattle winning at home, and that wouldn't shock me at all. So that's a Seattle win with the dub there. Week 2, we got San Francisco. Seattle plays in the Niners Stadium in Frisco. I know Jed Kittle is going to be hurt, but I have this as a loss for the Seattle Seahawks. The San Francisco defense is just too strong up front, and the young tackles for Seattle will do well, but they're going up against Bosa and Warner and those guys, and that could be a bit of a learning curve game away. And you know what? I'm the last thing from a Niners fan, but I got to respect how they've held that team together, added some pieces there. They got Womack, they got a few more pieces, and I think that's an L for Seattle. So they start 1-1. Atlanta comes into Seattle. I'm probably going to go to this game. I want to see Kyle Pitts in his rookie season. This is a win for Seattle. The Atlanta Falcons just not talented enough. Yes, I think Mariota's underrated, and then they got Ritter there, but I think that the Seattle Seahawks outmatched the Falcons in too many positions, too many areas. It's not a good matchup for them, but I'll be trying to get the tailgate in with the ATL folks for that game. So that's another win for Seattle. Detroit. Okay, Seattle goes into Detroit, Michigan, one of the toughest cities in the world. Shout out to Motown. Seattle loses to Detroit. To me, Detroit has a top 10 roster in the NFL this year. Goff is familiar with Seattle. I know we're playing a different defense, but they just have too many weapons, and they got too much defense. Detroit is very underrated. Seattle loses to the Detroit Lions. Shout outs to the D. And then they go off after that game to New Orleans. Another really tough game for Seattle. I want to feel like Seattle pulls out the dub here, but we don't traditionally have good games against the Saints, especially away. That's another L for Seattle. So Seattle loses to the New Orleans Saints away. No surprise there. Then they come back home and they play the Arizona Cardinals. Look, the Arizona Cardinals just lost Rondale Moore. They don't have D-Hop back yet. They'll be running Connors, who is a great player. They have AJ Green, etc. I think this is an L for the Cardinals, and Seattle pulls out a win here. Once again, they do not have the run defense. If we have at least 2 of those running backs, we're going to beat them. That's a W at Lumen's Field there, October 16th. Then we go to SoFi Stadium to play the Chargers. That is an L for Seattle. The Chargers have too much going on right now, especially on defense and pass rush. That will overwhelm Geno Smith for sure, and they can clamp down on DK because they got Derwin James and they have JC Jackson to double up on him. I don't think that we have enough in that game. That's an L for the shout outs to the Chargers there. And then we go back to Lumen's Field, and the Giants come to town. Look, the Giants have Saquon Barkley. They've given us problems in the past. They got Kadarius Toney. This could very easily be a really tough, scrappy game, but the travel time across country, the Giants just aren't that good. And, Saquon could beat us alone, but that's a win for Seattle. I know Giants Nation will hate that, but I'm sorry. I just don't think you guys can beat us away. And yes, I do believe that whether Geno or Drew there. We got you guys. And then we go back to Arizona and we play the Cardinals again. Now, I'm going to get so much hate for this. D-Hop will be back. Cardinals will be in full swing. But the Cardinals are going to lose again. We're going to sweep the Cardinals this year. Murray doesn't play well against Seattle for whatever reason. I don't know. I just don't see it happening on tape. Mafe and the pass rush will be in full swing. We got speed to chase down Murray there with Jordan and stuff like that. So if all the defense is healthy, sorry, Zona, I don't hate you guys, man. I just think that that's what's going to happen. Then we play Tampa Bay. We're going to lose to Tampa Bay because of the Tampa Bay Bucks. And even if we're in the game in some way, they'll get a flag or whatever. But shout outs Tampa, shout outs all Florida. But we're not going to lose to Tampa Bay because they have Godwin, Evans, Tom Brady, if you've heard of him. That's a loss for Seattle. Okay. Then we had a bye week. So that's good because the next week off the bye, we play the Las Vegas Raiders, who are a super powerful up-tempo team. They now have Devontae Adams. They've got Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, cerebral connection. They got Darren Waller. Hopefully they still have him. They look really, really tough, and they got a crazy defense. The only thing is we're going to beat them. We're coming off of a bye. They're not that intimidating for me because they don't have long speed, in my opinion. That's the type of teams that people don't understand. Like Adams, he kills teams, but I just feel like by then, Woolen and those guys will be super juiced up. Shout outs Raiders Nation. I really love y'all, but that's an L for you guys. And I know that you probably hate me for that, but that's okay because it's all love. And then we go and we play the Rams in SoFi Stadium. We just can't beat those guys for whatever reason, not only because they're champs. By the time I was recording this, the Rams had just lost and got their ass handed to them by the Bills. But we're not the Bills. So by then they'll be in full swing trying to really clamp down on their playoff position, in my opinion. They do need to find a third option there, maybe a second option, because outside of Cup, I know today they look pretty bad, but it's not enough for us to get them. Rams win. So that's an L. And then Carolina, Carolina comes to our gym. By now they have Mayfield to be in full swing, CMC and all that, but it's just the Carolina Panthers. That'll be a tough game for us, but I also have a win there. Carolina, shout outs to Carolina. Like I said, I love North Carolina. I love that state. Such good barbecue, such good people. My aunt's in Winston-Salem. I can't wait to visit there again and take my family. But anyways, you guys are going to catch an L. And then we got the Niners come into Lumen's Field. At this point in the year, the Niners are doing one of two things. They don't really care what's going on, or they're going to be trying to rest players going into a weak NFC playoff competition. So I have us winning that game against the Niners because we always split with the Niners and we forever will. By then, I don't know, Pete Carroll himself might be the quarterback, but the Niners somehow just seem to have a problem with Seattle. If they could sweep this, it would be this year, but I think we beat the Niners at least once, and that would be at home. Then we go off to Arrowhead Stadium where we take a big L for Mahomes, unless they're completely resting. But that's what's weird about these last games. Those two teams might be resting guys, Frisco and KC. So if they are, and we're fighting for a wild card, that could get weird as well. But we have an L, specifically if the AFC West are trying to, establish position with Patty Mahomes and company. They're probably just going to hand us a big fat L. And they're the Chiefs, man. They're just always one play away from a championship, it seems. Then the New York Jets come to Lumen Field for the final game. If I'm feeling frisky, I might go check that out too, just for fun. They got good coaching and Salah, up and coming team. I like watching games like that, just as much as I like watching really high powered games. I like watching up and coming teams. You know what I mean? And teams I haven't seen before, and I haven't seen the Jets play. So Jets, Jets. You guys are going to take a big fat L from the Seattle Seahawks. And to finish off the season, the LA Rams come to Lumen's Field in Seattle, where I think the Rams will actually be resting players. They'll have their playoff position established, and this is where Seattle can kind of creep into a wild card position, I believe, for their 10th win. Yes, call me crazy. That's 17 games or 7 season. Seattle finishes the season with 10 wins. You guys are going to hate that, but go back to my videos. I give you reasons why. I kind of downgraded that feeling of making the playoffs when Geno won the job. But the more I look at it, the more I look at the other rosters, the more I look at the setbacks of the other teams going on in the NFC, I see Seattle getting back to basics and just killing teams on the ground, and with good defense and with sneaky plays to Metcalf, Lockett, and company. Call me crazy. Everyone says 4 wins, 3 wins, 5 wins. I get it. You're welcome to your opinion, but just don't throw shade. Give me reasons. You know what I mean? Let's talk about football. Let's talk about why this stuff could happen. And I'm going to tell you why I think Seattle will still get these games in here. It's because they're going to surprise people. They have so much talent on the team that is unheard of, that I've been tracking for many, many years, and into the draft here that is going to emerge here and really, really surprise the NFL. I truly believe that. If I'm wrong, that's fine, guys. I'm not perfect at this, but I'm just giving you my honest opinion and not for clickbait. If you're a Seattle fan, a true diehard Seahawks fan that looks into the team, you know exactly what I win. I know this is lofty, but I love each and every one of you, no matter what team you follow. Love and respect.